Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up for you today. You're going to love it. NASDAQ chooses Ripple partner. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. No, I'm not sure if you hear any background noise, but if you do, it is a torrential downpour here where we live, and I hope it's not too loud in the background, but we're going to get started. $2.58 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency. The market is up 0.7%, 67,500 plus for Bitcoin, just a few days away from Bitcoin Nashville, ladies and gentlemen. Ethereum 3,400 plus right now. USD Tether $114 billion plus market cap. Right now we see XRP jumping from the number 8 spot to number 6 spot. We're at 61 cents. We're up 5.6 in a 24-hour and up 15.4. Oh my gracious, that's nice. I love that. Yeah, what a weekend it's been for XRP, battling back. Coming up from the number 8 spot back to number 6. We're at 61 cents, up 15.4 on the 7-day. Let's take a look at the range of motion. It is between 58 and 62 cents. So XRP is moving in the right way, ladies and gentlemen. And hopefully it'll move there a lot quicker, a lot sooner. I know we're all ready. And you know what? I think we're going to see something that gets everybody excited. I want to remind everybody right now very quickly about iTrust Capital. It is the home of the best crypto, gold, silver IRAs on the planet, ladies and gentlemen. And you can roll over your 401k, TSP, 403b, 457, and more. And it's very easy to do. Low cost and no monthly fees. Listen, this is unbelievable opportunity. If you haven't checked it out for yourself, please do. You're going to love it. Now let's get to this right here. I want to play this clip here. This is a gentleman from Kitco, and he's talking in this interview and asking about the presidential ticket here that is running against the Biden administration. Of course, he's not running now. But nevertheless, I want you to listen to this about the weakening U.S. dollar. Take a listen here to this clip.
Let's talk about Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, and what his stance on the U.S. dollar is. What's his broader thesis on the dollar right now? I mean, he has said openly that he wants a weaker U.S. dollar. I don't know exactly what he means by that, a weaker U.S. dollar. Is he talking about just a decline in the currency pair versus other major currencies? Is he talking about some other geopolitical issues? How are you interpreting his thesis?
Well, again, I mean, this is really, really recent news, but if you look at some of his historical rhetoric, and you know, he's a capitalist by nature, a private equity guy, I believe.
Good.
He, from what I've read and what I understand, believes that having the U.S. dollar as the settlement currency is causing the U.S. an unnecessary headwind economically, and that the U.S. would benefit from a weaker dollar. And you can see it whenever there's a challenge or an issue in the broader capital markets. There's a massive flight to the U.S. dollar, and you see it spike for no reason at all. It arguably may be one of the weakest currencies, or should be one of the weakest currencies in the world by virtue of the amount of debt that they have on the balance sheet. But regardless, because it's always sat as sort of the de facto settlement currency for all things commodities, you see this flight to what they call safety. And I would call the US dollar the furthest thing from safety. But that is indeed what happens. It's not to gold, it's not to crypto, it's basically to the US dollar. And typically you see the crypto and gold actually sell off in those situations, and then ultimately they rally, which is what I think you're seeing now. So I think Vance wants to eliminate that. They want to eliminate the U.S. dollar as sort of the de facto settlement currency. They want to allow the U.S. dollar to trade where it should trade, which many people would argue is in a much less, in a weaker state against many other currencies. It'll be interesting to see how they go about doing it. But one of the ways of doing it is embracing crypto and embracing Bitcoin. And so, capital markets and strategists, we were talking about your history with BCA research and your background. I would not be surprised if you start seeing, as the election approaches, definitely you're going to see, you're on the record here with me saying it, you're going to see crypto starting to trade up to that $90,000-$100,000 level. And I wouldn't be surprised that with a Trump victory, you see it moving into that $100,000 and $150,000 level. This is a huge trading opportunity for individuals.
And there you have it. Now, he's talking about Bitcoin being used in that particular scenario. But look, I offer this. You know, you guys know that I think Bitcoin has been shared as like a beta, right? Like a beta test. Some people even say it's beta test coin, Bitcoin, BTC, beta test coin, right? So, you know, I feel like it has definitely been created to serve as a financial band-aid for the moment that we're going through right now and about to go through. I definitely feel that. And I definitely feel that it would be a great idea to take something with a limited, small total circulating supply and begin to back the US dollar with gold, silver, copper, other metals, oil, right? Not the oil deal through the petrodollar agreement, but literally oil, other commodities, as well as digital asset commodities, XRP as well. And then obviously for movement and settlement of trade and looking for another mechanism other than the US dollar, we know you can use XRP. It is in fact a bridge asset. But I wanted to add this. You know, he talked about that Vance on the Trump ticket wants a weaker US dollar. And the reason I think that was brought up or mentioned, and I don't want to speak for JD Vance, but whenever I've heard people take this stance, it's because they understand the fallout from the Plaza Accord back in the 80s. The Plaza Accord is when the US dollar was devalued because every time the dollar goes strong, it crushes the other countries around the world and their currencies. So, devaluing the dollar, making a weaker dollar makes less enemies to the rest of the world around the world here. Now, if we can devalue the dollar or have it be a little weaker temporarily as we reel in and introduce backing our currency with commodities and shoring up its value, which is the best way to stop the devaluation, but then also introduce a bridge asset so the other countries don't have to be affected by that backing that will be coming into play at some point. Remember, on a macro level and macro understanding, it would appear that we're moving off of a debt-based system to where? A multipolar asset-backed system. And that's going to require backing the dollars of the world by commodities, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to send commodities through the roof. Now let's take a listen to this, because what's the new system going to look like? Well, de-dollarization and removal of SWIFT. Could that happen due to Project Enbridge? Listen.
Wasn't clear enough. The primary purpose of Enbridge is to make it possible for its users to bypass the existing US-centric financial system. This not only includes bypassing SWIFT, but also bypassing all intermediary banks in cross-border transactions, as well as the US dollar in forex trading. For reference, the US dollar is basically a bridge currency, especially for large transactions. So, if you want to swap, say, a large amount of New Zealand dollars for Canadian dollars, you'll have to swap New Zealand dollars for US dollars, and then US dollars for Canadian dollars. That's just because it's not always possible to trade lots of New Zealand dollars directly for Canadian dollars. With Enbridge, you'd be able to swap New Zealand dollars for Canadian dollars directly from a bank in New Zealand to a bank in Canada, assuming these banks are a part of the Enbridge system. This removes the US dollar as the bridge currency, removes intermediary banks from the transfer, and removes SWIFT from the equation.
So you see how that goes, right? And we know Swift versus Ripple, it's been a fight the whole time, okay? And we know the XRP ledger's done more than 2.8 billion transactions without failure or a security breach. We know that we just saw an outage causing massive problems for high-value payments for the Bank of England and European Central Bank because of the outage of SWIFT. We know that we are, in fact, dismantling SWIFT. Listen to Brad Garlinghouse remind everyone.
I think what we're doing and executing on a day-by-day basis is, in fact, taking over SWIFT. In that.
And what is Enbridge, ladies and gentlemen? What is?
Token, digital euro, digital dollar, whatever the market is. And that becomes the digital asset.
So that becomes a digital asset. Keep listening.
Keep listening.
The native coin.
The native coin, yeah.
This is James Wallace, the head of central bank engagement for the XRP Ledger. And he is telling us in this clip, if you're new, a lot of you have heard it. Stay with me. We're not done with you yet. We got a lot more and you're going to love it.
Now, where XRP could come into play potentially is when you're looking at cross-border CBDC. So when you have a digital dollar and you have a digital, real, or digital pound, you obviously need to have some way to interact cross-border. Yeah. So I think the BIS call this a multi-CBDC model. One of the ideas is you use a sort of a neutral bridge currency to go from one to the other, similar to the model I explained earlier, with our on-demand liquidity. But the core offering really is not XRP. There's no XRP involved. It's the native token is the CBDC.
There you have it. You use XRP where applicable. You're not forced to use it. And remember, while all of this is starting to come together here, CME Group introduces XRP to be introduced for its reference rate for institution on its indices charts. They don't list that price unless institutions have a demand for it, right? Institutions are about to have a huge demand for it, ladies and gentlemen. And while they're in demand for it, they're going to need custody. And guess who NASDAQ has chosen? Zodia Custody as its core custodian for crypto indexes, ladies and gentlemen. Zodia Custody has been chosen by NASDAQ. Are you hearing this? Yes, Zodia Custody has been a partner of Medico's Ripple's Medico, since the announcement in December 2023. Zodia Custody's raised $36 million in funding round led by SBI, which is another long-term Ripple partner. Brought its total funding raised to $68 million. Yeah, this is going down, ladies and gentlemen, and this is pretty remarkable. This is pretty damn remarkable. And if you think it's a joke, then why did Zodia themselves like the post that I just showed you? Shout out to Subjective Views for finding that one, because it was their post that they had put out. I got to give out a like and love right there. And let's take a look at these charts, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, XRP is about to skyrocket out of the symmetrical triangle on the 4-hour chart. If it does, the target is 72 cents. We're at 61.62 now. We know getting above 75 cents starts to get super duper exciting. And I can't wait. Let's look at one more here before we go. Armando Pantoja tells us XRP is going to $8 when it gets out of the gate. We need to get above 75 cents, as so many technical analysts have told us. So it feels like a real agreeable point that we need to get above, is what they're saying, basically. All of them seeing that, right? So this is pretty amazing stuff here, and I can't wait to see what happens. It's not financial advice from me or anyone else, but right now we're about to go into the Freedom Zone. You can join us in the Freedom Zone. Go to digitalperspectives.com, click the Freedom Zone, and come in, help support the channel for next to nothing. Listen, censorship is very real, and it is unfortunately very alive. And we are about to go inside here and show you a few things that we wouldn't dare to do outside of the channel on YouTube. I wouldn't do it. I have to do it in the private group. There's just too many times we get hit with limited monetization and things of that nature because we do not live in a free speech society. I can guarantee you that. I hope you'll join us. It is important, especially if you live in the United States and you want to understand what's been going on around here, especially in the last week or two. We got it right here, and there's so much that has been uncovered. And I really hope you join us to find out what it is. We're going in right now. It will shock you.